Welcome to Off the Mat, your new wrestling obsession. Hope you guys are having a great week. Tonight, we're going to talk about my second favorite pay-per-view of the year. Or actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say pay-per-view. I don't want the WWE police to come arrest me.
Exactly.
PLE of the year,
There you go.
Money in the Bank. But first, we got to start off by saying what's up to the Dirt Sheet Dom himself, Mr. Dom Tober. And Mr. I can't catch my internet, let me be in current time, Sticks Boy. He's constantly in a wrestling battle with his internet connection.
That's a match I want to see on pay-per-view. Please.
Sticks Boy.
That is a constant struggle.
It's like, who's the heel? Are you the heel or the computer's the internet? You got to find out.
I don't know. I'm gonna guess the thing without a soul is the key. Not the
I
heel.
should do intros like
We'll say that
Jedi.
because AI, internet, they have souls now. They start to take over.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Be careful.
On a man who's on a computer older than himself, it's Stick Boy.
That's right. I just warmed up my Commodore 64 and I'm ready to go.
Ooh.
You thought his computer was old. You thought he was old. You should see his camera.
Look,
Anyways,
his computer still operates. It came out before wrestling did. And it still
Yep,
works.
I'm using my Nikon.
I hope you guys enjoyed the overload of pro wrestling we've had lately.
Oh my God.
Tonight I want to start by talking. We're gonna get into our Money in the Bank match predictions. I don't know if we're gonna do Worlds Collide, but I want to start off by talking about the releases we had, and especially R-Truth. How do you guys feel about the R-Truth release? Because Monday night's crowd was raucous. They were hot. We got a "We Want R-Truth" chant.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about the release of R-Truth?
You know, I feel bad because he was the funniest dude on the roster. After he told Solo, "This your son?" with Cobb, he goes, "Big boy." The way he was, I want to see the ring. You know, it's just the way he is, and you know, he's been around for a long time. He's 53 years old, and I know that every company, every corporation, every business, when you have new people coming in, you got to cut corners. And they weren't using them enough, which really stunk because they used them well enough to be the comic aspect, but they never really used them a lot. And
it wasn't just Solo. He called them all fat.
I know.
He called them all fat.
Big boy. I know. You guys are all big boys. It was
He
great.
called Jeff Cobb fat. He called them all fat.
No, I like when he touched Solo. Solo goes, "Why are you touching me?" No, but I feel bad because he was a comic aspect. He was like a pillar in wrestling. You know, R-Truth always had the backstage presence, which made you laugh when you go backstage. He always said something, always did something, and it sucks that they released him. You know, I know that there's been things floating around the internet that they offered him a contract less than the money that he was getting, and no, I think he should be getting the money that he should be getting, even though he loses a lot. Listen, these corporations have to understand. Stop trying to cut corners. You're raising ticket prices and you're doing all these crazy things. You could pay these guys. You could pay these guys. Stop the bullshit.
Listen, I like R-Truth, but here's the bottom line. He hasn't been doing a lot of in-ring stuff, mostly backstage stuff. So apparently they felt like his contract should be a lot of backstage price because they're not going to use him as much. So, I mean, I didn't want to see him go. I agree. He's a great comedic talent on that roster. He's been there for nearly ever. I mean, he was in TNA for a while, and I think he was in WCW for a little bit. I can't remember. But I mean, it's going to be a good loss on that.
The thing that sucks the most, he got the high-profile fight against his idol John Cena, which there was things.
You know what? The shirt he wore said more than we knew at the time.
Exactly, and found out that John Cena knew about what was going on, and he demanded to have that segment in that match with R-Truth, which really sucks because, you know, like I said, you cut corners. Every company does it, because
They do.
people the money, but the backstage is just as important as the ring too. When you have backstage segment, that shows you what's leading into the match ahead, or just a take a break from like the seriousness of saying Seth Rollins' faction destroyed the shit out of Sami Zayn and freaking CM Punk and Jey Uso type of shit, and you have the comic thing in the back to try to ease your mind to say shit's getting real out there. You have some fun stuff in the back. Another one is he was great with the Judgment Day. When he was saying he was part of the Judgment Day, he had that big segment with that.
Yep.
And speaking about Judgment Day, Carlito's gone too, which really sucks. I know he wasn't being utilized. He was utilized a lot less than R-Truth was.
I don't think the Carlito one sucks because Carlito made 2 years. He made one appearance back at Survivor Series in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And then he spent 2 years doing nothing but standing in the background, eating apples and playing PlayStation 5.
Yeah. He took the PlayStation 5 to begin with.
And or taking a spear. I mean, eating the spear from Braun Breaker. But he even made a joke about it, like saying, "Oh, well, they're being reviewed to see if I've been stealing money from the company, and it turns out I was." And yeah. So, I don't feel like Carlito's as big a loss as
I'm not saying a big loss. I'm not saying a big loss. He was just a fun presence in the back.
Yeah. He had some comedic aspect to him as well. Not like R-Truth, but
look, like I said, we're living in an age where corporations are cutting corners every which way because they're crying poverty. Meanwhile, they're charging friggin' hundreds of dollars more for friggin' tickets for seats for families to go, and they're crying poverty. Meanwhile, we're the ones that are friggin' paying the seating entertainment, and you can't tell me that TKO doesn't have the money. I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think it's about the money. I think it's about the roster size.
Dude,
who they're gonna use.
R-Truth's shirts were selling. They were selling, and as soon as he got released, they took him down. You're making money off the guys, off the thing, and they do that all the time. There's a couple of people that are in the back that they have to look over their shoulder now because there are more cuts are coming. The Miz, the Miz has been with the company 14 years. 20, with how many years? Yeah, 14 or 20 years. 14.
But there's only, the cuts suck, but there's only so much TV time each superstar can get, and now they're cutting back house shows. So there's got to be guys that can go. But WWE, they could give him an ambassador contract, a Legends deal. Look, they give it one to Titus O'Neil. Why can't they give one to the likes of R-Truth, a real company man? R-Truth was always the company man. Like the outcry of support that he's getting from previous WWE superstars, people who aren't even with the company anymore, like Ricochet and Baron Corbin, and the list goes on and on. Mm-hmm. You could have kept R-Truth in just a backstage role, like you're saying. And I think push comes to shove, he comes back. I think they will bring him back. I think WWE didn't expect the fan backlash, and like CM Punk, there's video going around of Punk when Raw went off the air on Monday night.
Yep.
For saying, don't chant. He'd be like, he's like something like, I'm remiss to say, don't chant for somebody that's not here anymore. And the crowd booed him, and he goes, think about it on your way home, and you'll think it's funny, because he's talking about himself, how crowds would chant CM Punk for what, like the 10 years he was gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the fact that the crowd's chanting, we want R-Truth, and people want, there's an uproar about it, just speaks, I think, volumes about Truth and his character and how he was just a company man. And he would do anything he was asked, and he would come and he'd just be given the stupidest ideas, but he'd make the best out of it. And he had some of the funniest segments. One of my favorite segments is in the Royal Rumble when he thinks he's money in the bank.
Yes.
Where he runs in, grabs a ladder, puts it up, and going for the briefcase, and there's no briefcase.
Come on, the little Jimmy and freaking guy.
Little Jimmy.
The 24/7 championship. Going around. look, he had some great segments and great comedic, present. And I get this, like I said again, corporate, it sucks. Corporate cuts always suck because that's what happens, man. You get
like when he thinks he's going to be in the Money in the Bank match, and he's like, and Kane's like, "You're not even in the match," and R-Truth is like, "My bad."
Yeah. But my one favorite segment of R-Truth, and the one where him and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman, where he says, "I'm going to throw you up over the top rope," Paul Heyman.
Yep.
Like, I'm not even in the match. That is the best one.
It just really, like I said, it really sucks. And the backlash, the crowd. The WWE is all about the fans. If the fans want something, you get it. Look, it took all those years to get CM Punk back.
Take a little bit.
And CM Punk came back.
Wow, there was a yeah.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm just saying the fact is that you're chanting certain individuals' names and you're doing things everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
The person not with the company, so kind of. Well, we'll see. Like I said, across the board, wrestlers. So apparently Gunther freaking deactivated his his X account from WWE. I think Rhea Ripley did the same thing. I think they all did the same thing, and they told Rhea Ripley to take off a shirt that she had on.
What shirt did she have on?
She had an R-Truth shirt, and they told her to remove it. She had it on Monday night, and they told her to take it off. So, see, and that's the thing with corporations, man. Corporations, they want to control, man. Yeah. And I hate corporations. I hate bullies, man. I hate bullies.
They want to, it's too bad that they celebrate these guys after they pass, but not when they're still here. And a guy who's worked for the company, done good for the company, never said boo about the company.
Made money for
they don't. That's like, like you say, it's corporate function, but
I hate it, man. Like, what did Sheamus say? I'm a bully that takes down bullies.
Yeah,
I hate bullies, man. I hate people who are bullied, and that's the motto when it comes to freaking corporation. TKO is becoming a big time money making bully, and it sucks. Really,
I think what I think about the one thing I think about TKO is that they're just now learning how much more fluidity is in the process of being in a wrestling company than it is with UFC. UFC people kind of come and go anyways because you can't do it anymore, or you never could, so you take yourself out. So your moving parts are more moving, where a lot of these parts in wrestling sometimes they stay around a while.
Yeah.
Because whether they're good or bad, they tend to stay around because you use them.
Hey, look, like I said, TKO is buying all these companies. They're cleaning out all the SS stuff that they have that they don't want, and they revamp it. Revamping, like AAA, they bought that. They freaking have some kind of crazy partnership with TNA. You don't know if they own part of TNA. You don't know if they're because they're grooming all the wrestlers that they want. Because Joe Henry is coming. His contract ending, and they want to get him. And I understand you have to clear the roster to bring in new people. There's a lot of different things.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the business. There's no question. We know that. We've seen it in the past. It just kind of sucks when it's out of the blue like that. Like,
yeah. And I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
It does suck, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, they have a big roster. People are coming up. You got Stephanie came up on Monday night.
Hey, yep.
With
the new process shows, they have like LFG, Evolve. They have a lot of
because they have a lot of these up and coming developmental companies now that are going right into NXT, and they're bringing up the NXT people that. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised Ethan Page, Femi comes up down the road because they're not doing that thing where you wait to win the championship to be good, to win the championship to be bad, and take their time, because now they're just gonna circulate and bring up new wrestlers, and we're gonna see a lot more.
With their last PLE, I was certain that Oba was gonna drop the belt and get moved up.
Well, I think he might get moved up.
But you're right; he's eventually gonna get called up.
Ricky Saints is coming up. Ricky Starks. Eventually he's gonna make his way up. They already have they have right now. You got Trick Williams running around as the TNA champion, just to give him something to do. Because I think he finished his stint, whatever he had to do on NXT. Now he'll do some TNA for a little bit, and then when they do the call-ups, he'll lose the belt and he'll come up. Because they're going to have, apparently the draft is coming soon. I think the draft is coming after Money in the Bank, I think.
We've been saying that.
They've been saying it. They keep pushing it.
We've been talking about this draft like it's...
Me personally, I think they should have the 2 shows, and the champions should go back and forth. Whoever they want to fight, you could have feuds with whoever you want to fight with if you're a champion. Go back and forth. And I want to see Survivor Series come back where you have Raw versus SmackDown. No more War Games. And just have a squash match between the two organizations, and what the organization is better. And that's what I'd rather see.
Yeah, I would like to see NXT technically is the 3rd brand for WWE, and I would kind of like to see an overall championship that would, like you have your Raw, SmackDown, NXT champion.
Yeah.
But then you would have to have a WWE top tier, to make all 3 brands one. So it feels like, hey, I can go from here to there and win and pop up, or at least get the shot at.
Yeah.
Pop up.
Like I said, they're leaving SmackDown 3 hours, so you have more time for television time.
I think that's wrong, but
I don't know. But they're cutting out, like you said, like Matt was saying, you cut off house shows, so there's less product out there. You give more time for people to rest and recuperate, because you see Liv Morgan, she busted her head open.
Yeah,
that huge opening
gash right there.
Yeah, man. So, and also Stephanie Vaquer had she got hit in the eye. Her eye was all red, and she looked good too. You know what I'm saying? And when she did the Devil's Kiss to Liv, I was like this. I was like this. Like this.
I was waiting for what's his name to pop up.
Booker T. But
Booker T.
McAfee figured try doing it, but he couldn't. He couldn't do.
No. I mean, when Booker did it, it was like it was spontaneous. You can't just crack it out like it's like a Stone Cold Stunner. Everyone does the stunner, right?
Exactly.
Not everybody can do that spontaneous stuff.
It's just But look, like I said, we have a whole bunch of new roster people that are coming up to the roster, so we'll see. Our truth definitely will try to get we'll maybe get reinstated, come back, because it's the fans made a big uproar. So we'll see.
Yep. So while Matt's away, why don't we start getting into some of the Money in the Bank? I do have Worlds Collide on here as well, if we want to talk about that after.
I think Matt was saying about I don't think he's going to get into Worlds Collide, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's dealing with something right now. So
we could throw something in there with that. Let's do the Money in the Bank. We'll talk about it for a little bit.
Yeah. So so as we do our point system, as we do our games, 10 points per winner called, 10 points for anything extra, interference, what have you. Same thing as usual. I don't think there's anything. There's no real elimination. There's no elimination match, so I think we're good there. Let's see what I got. I got Worlds Collide. Do you want to skip Worlds Collide, and then we'll just go in the Money Bank?
Let's go Money in the Bank, and we'll see about maybe doing it if we'll do it. let's just do the other Money in the Bank, and we'll just talk about Money in the Bank a little bit. Try to prolong until Matt.
Yeah, let me get to that.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
All right, here.
All right, first up, I don't know what the order is on the PLE, so I just have them.
Yeah,
And they had it on their website.
I don't see this.
Cody Rhodes.
I see this being one of the first matches. The Money in the Bank is more the last pay-per-view. It's more the last part of the pay-per-view.
So Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul. Okay. Where are we going with this match?
I'm giving it to friggin' Cena and Logan Paul. I think friggin' Jey is busted from Monday night. Got destroyed by Braun friggin'
Breaker.
Not Braun Breaker.
Braun,
friggin' the tsunami
Braun,
from.
I was gonna say Braun.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed.
And he's busted, and I think Gunther comes out and tries to finish off with, because Monday night we're gonna have. Well, listen, if this is the first match, whoever wins Money in the Bank ain't gonna come in to try to cash in. But if Seth wins, he's gonna try to cash in. If this match is later on, but I think it's first. So I think Monday.
Yeah, I think Monday
night,
men's Money in the Bank will be the last
Money in the Bank. We'll try to cash in on Jey on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
So,
during that match, yeah.
This is my thing. I think we get an appearance of Seth, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker interfere with this match, as well as Gunther. We also get CM Punk. We also get Sami Zayn, and maybe we get Roman Reigns. Which Roman Reigns coming out towards the end. I think Roman Reigns comes out towards the end in the Money in the Bank, but I think they come out, and I think we're going to be getting a heel Sami. I think Sami's in a freaking goddamn is gonna help. Sami is gonna help Seth freaking Rollins on Money in the Bank. He's gonna help. So
I don't disagree with you having him as a heel turn. I think if he comes out, him helping Seth Rollins is going to be inadvertent.
Yeah. But
so
I think that they're going to try to soften Jey for Monday night. I think Gunther comes out.
Well, that's what that's what I was going to ask you, because if they come out, he's been kind of pining at Jey, but I mean he'll take whatever goal he thinks he can.
He got freaking speared. He got freaking tsunami. He got destroyed. He got head stomped. He got destroyed, man.
Yeah.
So I see Cena, Logan Paul taking this match.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I think those two are gonna take it. Someone's gonna interfere. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Breaker. I think Seth will come down, but I don't think he'll interfere as much as Breaker's going to. On the outside, someone's going to be on the outside. Breaker's going to come around and spear the soul from his body, or whatever you want to call it, and knock whoever that may be out of the match.
Listen,
and then
if
Paul
Jey gets messed up, if Jey gets messed up on in this paper and gets messed up, he's done Monday night. He's losing the belt. He's losing the belt Monday night. I can tell you that.
Sorry about that, boys. I had a pushy salesman refusing to let my sister, who was babysitting for me, leave, so I had to go down and handle some business.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey.
What did I miss?
No, nothing. We just started talking about about this match. We don't know if this is going to be the first match. I'm saying that if this is the first match, you can rest assured whoever wins Money in the Bank ain't gonna try to cash in.
Yeah, they can't cash in.
They can't cash in on Jey. So it'll be Monday night. But if this match takes place later, which I doubt, this is going to be the first match. I think.
I think this closes the show.
You think?
Yeah, I think this closes the show. Absolutely. Because they're going to want you to. Triple H is going to want you to play and make you think that a cash in can happen at any time. So if this match goes before the men's match, then there's no cash in opportunity. this is gonna be the last match.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But the Money in the Bank is that's the name of your pill.
Yeah, but you've got both world champions in this match. So
I
it makes no sense not to have this match go last because you have the whole Money in the Bank. The allure of the Money in the Bank is anywhere, anytime, any place, right? Well, you got two of your champions primed in one match going face to face, and you got Seth Rollins coming after, Jey Uso. You have potentially what I think is going to happen is you're going to have a returning Roman Reigns come out and take out, John Cena. Well, actually, I think Roman. Well,
wow, you just made me think of something, man. You're right. I didn't realize that you had both champions that are going to be fighting here. Why have it in the beginning where you can have it in the end and have the anticipation? Do you imagine the ending of this, how it could turn out? Not only do you have Roman Reigns come out, you have Seth Rollins, you have a freaking Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, right? Potentially Gunther, because Gunther is supposed to be fighting Jey Uso. Imagine Seth Rollins wins the championship at the end of the pay-per-view because of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn turns heel. And he gets the belt. Monday night, you're going to have Gunther versus Seth Rollins. And remember, Seth Rollins already approached Gunther. And Gunther's like, I don't need your help. If you have any problems, I'm here for a challenge. I don't care. So you already have the potential storyline between Gunther and Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman. So
that's true.
So basically, you're right. The ending of this thing could be epic. It could be epic.
And I'm going to call it right now for extra points. Triple H is going to do his thing where the credits are going to roll, and you're going to think it's done, and you're going to get a fake cash in. You're going to get a potential of a try to be cashed in that night after the credits roll, and you think the pay-per-view is done. You're going to have one of these two lay in there, and you're going to get a cash in, and something's going to go awry where it's not going to happen. Like, someone will try and cash in on Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes will stop it. Or the cash in will never happen. But I just think you're going to get a fake out at the end of this by Triple H because he loves to do that Marvel Studios-esque, after credits thing.
Yeah. What I could see, if you do it that way, I could see Gunther coming out with, say, someone's going to try and cash it in because Gunther wants more Jey. Taking that guy out, so he still have Jey on Monday.
I think the cash-in is going to come Monday if they go after Jey Uso.
I think the cash-in would come on Monday.
I see Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso winning this match, and I think Logan Paul is going to eat the pin. They're not going to have Cena eat the pin, but I think Logan Paul is going to eat the pin.
Logan Paul, I'm telling you, there's going to be chaos. Chaos at the end. You're going to get people getting speared. You're going to have freaking goddamn tsunami. You're going to have some. Listen, in my mind, I see an epic ending to this pay-per-view that people will be like cheering, like, holy shit, type of moment. But then again, it could be totally something different. It might not happen.
I mean, I could honestly see Seth getting involved in this, whether he wins Money in the Bank or not, just because of Jey Uso.
Right.
Yep.
So.
Right.
And that's why I think. So after the match, I think maybe Dom's right. Braun Breaker comes out, spears Jey Uso. They take out Cody Rhodes, and that gives Cody Rhodes something to do. So Cody Rhodes isn't going to automatically chase John Cena.
Yeah.
If Sami Zayn stays face, it's him, Punk, and Jey right now, and that adds Cody to it. If Braun Breaker comes out and spears Cody, or Bronson Reed tsunamis Cody and takes Cody out, and then they do the same thing to Jey, and then somebody tries to come in and cash in, and it doesn't go to plan, like maybe. I'm not going to tip my hat yet on who I think is going to win the men's Money in the Bank, but said person comes down and try to cash in, and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are like, "What are you doing?" And Braun Breaker just spears the shit out of him, and it's game over. And the cash in never happens.
Right.
How about this?
Yeah.
John Cena. How about this? They come out, and John Cena is about to get speared by freaking goddamn Braun Breaker, and he moves out of the way and puts Logan Paul there. Logan Paul gets the spear. I'm telling you, total chaos, and this is going to happen. And then, or if Seth Rollins freaking curve stomps freaking John Cena to try to pin him, Cody Rhodes is going to jump in and stop Cena from trying to take the belt from John. Because he's going to stop Seth from taking the belt from Cena because He wants the belt. So this could be chaotic. It could have like a crazy car crash ending. It could be a point where it's like, damn, what you least expect. And Sami Zayn can turn. This could be Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn is coming out. They have to come out. Sami Zayn, CM Punk, they're coming out.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to be more of a player in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't think they're going to be a player in this as much as, unless Braun Breaker and all them come out and attack Jay, then you do. But I think their interference is going to be more in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
If Seth wins the belt and this is the last match, you know there's going to be chaotic at the end.
I don't think Seth's winning, man. I don't want to tip my hat.
I don't want Seth to win,
but
you know what? They could throw a curveball. And have a freaking goddamn LA Knight win. I don't see Solo winning. Hey, look, you got this too. You got Solo, so you're gonna have Cobb and Jacob Fatu part of the equation too. That the ladder match might be chaotic too. You have all these factions and groups together. It could be a huge. Oh man, you got me excited now, man. Hopefully it does happen.
We'll get to that one. We'll get to the Money in the Bank here shortly.
This reminds me of a Star Wars episode where I get everything I want in Star Wars.
And by shortly, we mean right now.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
All right. So with El Grande Americano winning the other night, he became the 6th member of this Money in the Bank ladder match with LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, Solo Sikoa, and Seth Rollins. All right.
I like the lineup.
Go ahead, Don.
I think the only thing is different. The only thing is the same is Seth Rollins, isn't it? But I do like the 5 other contestants in it. Solo, LA Knight, Penta, friggin' Andrade, and friggin' Grande Americano. I like that, because it's different. And look, Penta is definitely going to take out.
I agree. This is 100% different lineup that we would ever have gotten in the past.
I will 100% admit that I completely forgot Andrade was even in this match.
I know he won.
Yeah, he was like the first one.
Solo tried helping Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu got pissed off and lost because of Solo. Yeah. So I can see Jacob Fatu screwing Solo in this. So
that would be interesting.
You can rest assured. But dude, the only 2 people I see winning this belt is either LA Knight or Seth Rollins. I don't see anybody else winning this belt.
I'm right there with you. I think LA Knight makes sense. LA Knight's the only one that I question, and I'm fearful that if LA Knight does win, they're going to screw him over, and his cash-in is not going to be successful.
Yep.
But I don't see, as much as I want to see Penta win it, I don't see Penta getting the world title yet. He seems more like destined for taking the belt off Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah,
eventually,
definitely.
Probably SummerSlam. I don't see, just the way they've been using Andrade, I don't see him winning it. Solo Sikoa is on a one-way crash with Jacob Fatu. That's obvious.
That is obvious. Yep.
For the U.S. title, and I mean, I just don't see El Grande Americano winning it. And your 2 investments right here are Seth Rollins and LA Knight. But I also have a theory.
Let's do it.
That CM Punk makes his way into this match. El Grande Americano is wrestling twice Saturday. Once at World Collide, once at Money in the Bank. What if at Worlds Collide he gets taken out?
Hold on. Chad Gable is wrestling at
Okay, sorry. Same person. Same person.
Okay, Americano. Let's get that straight. I mean,
same person. But what if Chad Gable gets, and that maybe that's when we find out that they're the same person. What happens if he gets taken out and somehow can't wrestle in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and CM Punk finds his way into this match?
True too.
Well, I still don't think. I think he's going to get revealed at a
tomorrow night
mask for mask match. I still think that mask for mask match is going to happen at some point.
Everybody's in house tomorrow night on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we might. You're right. That actually is a good theory. Definitely a good theory. Or what about
it's going to come out that he got caught drinking a glass of water from the Gulf of America and got like diarrhea and can't get off the toilet, so he can't be in the match.
Hey, what about
dysentery? I got dysentery.
Finding his way into the match?
I don't see Sammy making it, man. I don't see Sammy winning anything until I think 2026 is going to be the year of Sami Zayn. In that
you've been saying Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he's going to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. It's just a given, I think.
Well, I don't know. Did you see what they wrote about Sami Zayn? Don't get political or anything, but there was a couple of things that he said about they're trying to get him fired.
Nah,
because he
can't believe everything you read on the internet. Don.
I know. I just hate the fact I hate all this political bullshit. I really do. But anyway,
what it is.
Yo, you're right. CM Punk has a better chance of getting into this match, and that would definitely friggin' turn the tide on Seth Rollins'
or maybe even Andrade doesn't make it. What if Andrade gets beat down and
Solo gets beat down? What if
Solo? Yeah.
But it most likely Americano. They're gonna find him. They're gonna find out. They're gonna find a picture of him changing and going, "You lied. This is not you. You already wrestled. You can't have it. Disqualification." And then have a match on Friday night. Have a match on Friday night to determine the last person for Money in the Bank.
And I think this match right here was completely set up with card is subject to change. It's same with the women's ladder match because it came out a few weeks ago that the women's ladder match was going to be Stephanie Vaquer and Jade Cargill as the final two.
Yep.
And I think when that got released, WWE is like, okay, we need to change this up. And so they kept one that you knew about it. Same, kind of same with this. Like you kind of knew Seth Rollins was going to win that final spot. And then going into it, you're like, okay, CM Punk's going to win it. But then you're like, so El Grande Americano was the flip in this one. And then Naomi was the flip in the women's one.
Yo, what about AJ Styles? AJ Styles got screwed. Figured he had the metal thing in his head again. Yes, and then AJ Styles could have easily won that if he didn't freaking. So that can either change. And also, you get the 6 women's, all the women that are participating in the ladder match are all going to fight tomorrow night. So who's to say that Jade Cargill doesn't take out friggin' Naomi?
She could.
So definitely, there's a lot of writing. Which is, see, now this is what I like: the unpredictability of what's going to happen. That things can change like that, and it could happen tomorrow night going into Saturday.
Well, I think it's been a long time since we've had this in a Money in the Bank match. Like usually going into Money in the Bank, you're like, I know who's winning. There's a clear cut winner. And for me, my gut says LA Knight. He's really the only one that makes sense because he's the only one that's not really in a storyline right now, other than maybe Andrade. And I think they're gonna El Grande Americano is gonna eventually have to fight Rey Mysterio. Seth Rollins has got his whole thing going on.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to give it to you. LA Knight wins. Roman Reigns screws Seth Rollins. That's how it happens. So LA Knight becomes the Money in the Bank champion.
That makes a lot of sense. That would work. Solo, like I said, is on a one-way street for a showdown with Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam. I don't really know what's going on with Andrade. Like they got to find something for Andrade.
I hope they don't release him because he's a good fighter. They have to have a thing with the luchadors. They're gonna have to have that. Having a big storyline with all the luchadors and Dominic's Mysterio gets involved and have that. Just have that. A storyline with that.
What if?
I think he's one of those guys they're gonna put in with AAA. So.
Yeah, and I think Penta. I could see Penta, AJ Styles, and Dominic Mysterio in a triple threat for the IC title at SummerSlam, or even Night of Champions. Or it could be AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio at Night of Champions. Something happens where
Finn Balor's going to find his way in there too, because Finn Balor has been eyeing that Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, we could have a fatal 4-way. I don't know. There's a lot of variables there when it comes to that IC title. And we know how much WWE has loved their triple threats and fatal 4-ways in their big PLEs lately.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, everything inside me screaming LA Knight wins this. Part of me, my head says Seth Rollins because it makes sense for the story, but also long-term booking, LA Knight, and it coming out that Triple H isn't a fan of the Money in the Bank contract match. You have LA Knight win it. He tries to cash in on John Cena. It doesn't work, or he just calls his shot and uses it to challenge Cena to a match at Night of Champions or SummerSlam or whatever. I don't think if Seth, let's put it this way. If Seth wins this match, Jay's losing the belt Monday night, even if he's not losing it that night, because Seth's going to cash in on him. And if he doesn't, I see Jay at least making it to SummerSlam as champion.
Yeah. And then losing it in SummerSlam somewhere.
Yeah, because I don't think Gunther's not winning it because Gunther's destined to fight Goldberg. Probably at Night of Champions is going to be his retirement match.
Yeah.
If he gets into shape, yeah.
Well, look. So your pick is LA Knight to win?
I picked LA Knight to win, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Sticks.
Yeah.
Bret Hart says, poor Gunther.
I'm right with you guys. And I know I was being a little cheeky earlier, but with El Grande having that match as Chad Gable and Rose Glide, I can see him getting dropped out. He's an easy one to drop out because he does have 2 matches that weekend or on the same day, really. And Seth is the obvious. He's too obvious to win because of the way the faction's been going. I think he needs to be more frustrated about not winning and getting the belt. Jacob Fatu taking out Solo makes sense. Andrade, they just haven't been using him a lot lately. If he wins, it'll be a total surprise, but I don't think he will.
I don't.
Penta, I agree. He should be going after Mysterio for that belt, for the IC belt. So that leaves LA Knight. I would have LA Knight taking it. I can see him going after Solo for that title. Or I'm sorry, after Fatu for his title before they get that Fatu Solo match.
Hey Sticks, I'm sorry. Your name, good. El Grande Sticks Acano. You should put that there because you had R-Truth just before, and then you just changed it.
I think it's funny that his mic keeps cutting out every time he says Fatu, so it sounds like he's saying "fuck you."
Fuck you.
I do. I think the 2 Solo match will happen pretty soon, so that Knight will try to cash in after that match.
All right.
I mean, what if LA Knight doesn't? What if he wins and he doesn't? What if he's the first to try and cash in for the IC title? Like, what? It would be, or the American, the U.S. Championship. Like,
yeah, I think that's. I think you might as well tag in for the tag team championships too. If you're gonna do all champions.
But that's the thing about this match is like Seth is like the most logical choice here, right?
And that's why he's not gonna win.
Yes. But the swerve, I think this LA Knight's gonna be the swerve. LA Knight's gonna be the swerve that, but now that if everybody starts talking about how they think LA Knight's gonna win, WWE could swerve us and go with Seth.
Exactly.
Or you can make the feud hotter with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, and you have Solo win it, and then have him hold that briefcase over Jacob's head and be like, I can cash in on you anytime. This is a contract for any championship. I can cash in on you at any time.
That makes sense.
And I think if they're going to keep doing Money in the Bank, they need to change it to where Money in the Bank is just a world title or heavyweight title match.
Well,
it was.
It was. They changed it.
Yeah.
It was a world title, and then they just changed it for other championship belts. Look. So you take LA Knight 6?
Yes, LA Knight.
But I'm sticking with LA Knight.
Okay. I was thinking, before, Seth Rollins, this and that, because, it's the obvious choice. We all know it's the obvious choice. It fits the storyline moving forward because he's after the power. He's got the 2 behemoths that are freaking helping him out, this and that, for him to move to be champion. And it would be cool. It would be cool that He wins the belt. He wins on figuring he cashes in that night with Jey, and he has to fight Gunther on Monday night. That'd be cool. But that's too easy of a storyline to look at if you really think about it. Seth, the obvious choice, like we all saying, he is the obvious choice because they're figuring Andrade. I don't think so. I don't think Andrade. Yes, B&B security. That's freaking
Ron and Bronson.
Yeah, yep. Bronson and Ron.
Like they don't even have a name for Seth's faction yet.
Not yet.
We don't really know what their motive is. They're giving you this whole
Seth Rollins wins. If he wins
next
the belt,
generation.
If he wins the championship and he has the briefcase, Monday night he comes out and you're gonna see his he's gonna have his name, the name of the faction. Because Sami Zayn will be with him.
I don't think Sami Zayn's flipping yet, man.
Sami
Zayn's not going to flip until we get this big showdown at probably SummerSlam with Jey Uso, CM Punk, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and I think it's actually going to be scratch that. I don't think Jey Uso is going to be in it at all. It's going to be Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed at SummerSlam.
All right, so Andrade, he's out of the equation. El Grande Americano. I think they find footage and someone posted it and shows it on the Titantron that he is a El Americano. Like remember they used to have like the news. I'm in the back, freaking finding when somebody's doing something and they put it up on the screen. Oh wow, this and that. Look, so and so. Like when Carlito beat up Dragon Lee, when he was with Rey Mysterio, and they had that. So I think something like that happens. He gets out, and you're right. It's either CM Punk or AJ Styles becomes another member because of the disqualification for El Grande Americano going in 2 ladder matches, in 2 qualifications as Chad Gable and as El Grande Americano.
I think you're going to see a feud of AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano just because AJ Styles punched Chad Gable in the face in the back scenes of Raw and tell that coffee to not get in my business.
But also he got involved with the Bronson Reed thing. Bronson Reed, they ran, hit his leg, and messed him up too. So you got to see he could be involved with the Seth Rollins thing too. We don't know. Solo is definitely not going to win because I think Jacob Fatu is going to freaking screw him because of him getting screwed out of going into the qualification ladder match. I think this is where he's like, yo, listen, I'm sorry, bro. Yes,
he did, Bret Hart. You were correct. Cross did say Sami Zayn was a bad guy like us.
That. Yep. And he's sitting there contemplating about that. Penta is definitely not going to win. I think that's for later on. The obvious choice is LA Knight. Give him the storyline, like we said. So I'm going with LA Knight. LA Knight wins. And we'll see what happens with that, how they're going to move along that story. But deep in my heart, I believe it's Seth for storyline purposes and for things. But it's too easy to say Seth. You get the swerve. Look, the swerve can come in many ways. Fucking Penta can win. But I doubt they're going to put it on Penta. Anybody can win if they want them to win. But the 2 obvious choices is LA Knight and Seth.
I still think that because you've had El Grande or Chad Gable, because you've had Chad Gable messing with Vikingo the last couple of weeks, I think he's going to get beat down at Worlds Collide and not be able to go. And then you're going to hear that like El Grande Americano ate some bad Mexican food or ate some bad something. And he can't. He can't leave the bathroom.
He caught
WWE would take the low-hanging fruit like that. It would be something ridiculous like that where he gets removed from the match and then Punk gets inserted into the ladder match or even Sammy.
I mean, Grande Americano is going to get Montezuma's revenge.
If Sammy somehow gets put in this match, I think Sammy turns. on Jey. But I really think that they're leading and they're wanting one of their big matches for SummerSlam to be Seth Rollins and his group versus Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk.
Yep.
And that kind of puts to bed that whole storyline then, because Punk and, Sammy, Roman kind of owes Punk a favor for filling in at, Survivor Series last year, even though it was Paul Heyman, but they owed the favor. And then Sammy and Roman and the bloodline. So I really think that's the match, the marquee match WWE is looking for SummerSlam.
Okay.
So I don't think Sammy's heel turn is going to come until after SummerSlam.
Okay.
If he turns heel at all.
Hey, Brett, you're right.
How many baby faces are there on Raw right now? It's really that are in the mix for the the top of the cream of the crop. You have Punk, Zayn. That's pretty much it. And of course, you've got Jey Uso, who's the champion. So I wasn't including him, but
hey, look, Chad starts.
There you go. I like that, Bret Hart.
In prison.
Chad starts a riot and spends the night in a Mexican prison.
True.
I could see it. I could see it.
All right, so we all picked LA Knight.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I think LA Knight. Seth is a logical choice, but LA Knight is like the go-to, the real choice, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
All right. Up next.
Yeah. Oh, you're just doing the women's money. You're just doing both matches back to back here, Stick.
This is my thing. I'll start first. I got Roxanne Perez winning this.
Really?
I got Roxanne Perez winning this because I think what's going to happen is that you're not going to give the Money in the Bank to Stephanie Vaquer off the bat, or you're not going to give it to Giulia off the bat. They're more going to, before they win the championship in WWE, one's going to win the U.S. championship, the other's going to win the Intercontinental championship. We all know that. That's that. Rhea Ripley is done. She's not going to be. She's not going to win. She's not going to win. She's going to have a feud starting. So my thing is that
you don't think that WWE sees dollar signs with the hashtag "Mommy in the Bank"?
Nope.
Like how many T-shirts they would sell with the "Mommy in the Bank" T-shirt?
I know, but you know what? She's enough. She already had a championship opportunities already. Now she'll move forward. I think Jade Cargill gets involved with Naomi and takes her out, and I think that she winds up becoming the member. They fix it for what we see.
I just want to remind you, Dom, and this might change your mind, that anyone can win the Money in the Bank. It doesn't mean when they go to cash in, they're going to win that title.
I know that. I know anybody can win, but I don't see Rhea Ripley. I don't see her winning. I see Roxanne Perez winning because she's been Royal Rumble. She broke the record for the second longest in there. She's been freaking winning matches and doing things and surprising people. And now she's part of the Judgment Day. Somewhat part of the Judgment Day. What's the better way to get back and live? You win the Money in the Bank to be a champion at any time. That would bother Liv, because Liv is already freaking pissed off at Finn, and goes, "I know what you're doing." This and that. He goes, "What am I doing?" So it's already part of the new freaking Judgment Day that Finn's gonna have with his counterpart. I think Stephanie doesn't win. She's gonna have a couple of feuds before she actually goes and wins her championship match eventually. And I think Giulia, the same thing. And it leads it to Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is not going to win because I think that what's going to happen is that I think Charlotte Flair is going to interfere with Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss has been having all these backstage things with Charlotte Flair of late. And I think Charlotte Flair, she's going to have a feud with Charlotte Flair for a little bit. And Roxanne Perez is going to win. And that's who I say. And you're going to have Liv is probably going to come out. Raquel's going to come out because they're going to probably because now Raquel lost, Liv lost. Roxanne came out twice. So now they're going to return the favor and try to come out to help Roxanne. But meanwhile, Roxanne's going to win, and that's going to freaking piss off Liv. She's going to win. And because once Jade Cargill takes out Naomi, you don't think Naomi's going to come back and freaking make her lose? Come on.
Right.
It's all written in the other books. So that story is going to happen, and my winner is Roxanne Perez.
All right, I'll go next, I guess. I've got. I guess I can go through. Yeah, with Stephanie and I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Giulia.
Giulia. I don't think they're going to win because they're kind of fresh into the system. I think they're gonna make it look good, but I don't think they're going to win. Naomi, yes, Jade's going to come in, or even Bianca, take her out of the equation.
Oh, this is 6. I'm sorry.
Fight her way to the back. Yeah,
it's 6. I'm sorry. 1 second. We will get a devil's kiss off the ladders with Stephanie Vaquer. We'll get the devil's kiss, definitely.
I don't know how she would do that. That would.
She's gonna do it.
If you have the ladder across.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, I could see a devil's kiss centipede. You know, like the human centipede, the movie. That all the girls' heads in there, all the asses are going. Win.
And you all know, ladies and gentlemen, that Dom will be watching this PLE in sweatpants to give it room to breathe. Yeah. Anyways, keep going, Sticks.
Okay. Mommy. Again, like much like Seth, I think she's the obvious to maybe have win it. She's held the belt before. You know, her going after Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan. God, I'm really drawing blank on names today. Judgment Day.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Liv
or
Morgan.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, Liv Morgan.
Roxanne Perez.
Have her go after Liv Morgan for that title, or because I don't think she'll go after
Tiffany.
I don't think she's going to go after Tiffany. If anybody, she's going to go after Liv Morgan. But Roxanne Perez is the interesting part of this because if she wins and brings it back to Judgment Day, and for some reason down the line, probably within the next couple of weeks, Liv Morgan is on the outs with Judgment Day, she could cash that in on Liv Morgan and become the host of Judgment Day and lives out.
Wait, Liv would cash in what? The tag team championships? You know, Sky is the champion. So
no, she can. She can have someone else.
Sticks, have you been drinking tonight?
No. I think she's going to have someone else come into that faction and go to take the tag team titles off of Liv.
Do you have a little Doctor Who power hour before you jump in?
Yeah, maybe.
Doctor Who.
I think I had too much regeneration juice. Yeah, maybe.
And said some dialects like erase your mind or something.
Because we've already said you can go after any title.
Hey, for the makers of Doctor Who, you have some cognac.
Cognac.
You can't remember names. You can't remember who's champion.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on tonight. I can't remember.
Yeah, dude,
but if she can go after a tag team title. She would have to have a partner, but she could go after it.
Sticks doesn't know where he's at right now.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
But hold on, I don't even have her winning. I have Alexa Bliss winning.
All that
pinning Stephanie at the end, or pinning. Not even a pin. She's gonna grab the briefcase, knocking Stephanie as she's trying to at the top.
Tom says all that for nothing.
Yeah, all that for nothing. There you go. So I got Alexa Bliss winning.
And here's where I differ from both of you. Giulia is not winning this match because Giulia is basically on track for a showdown to win the Women's United States Championship off of Sticks has got me doing it. Selena Vega.
Yep.
Stephanie Vaquer isn't winning it because like Dom said, I think she's going to eventually end up with the IC title at some point. She's not going to win gold right off the bat.
Nope.
Same with the Roxanne Perez. I think her feud is with Liv Morgan coming up. That's kind of where they're building it. So I don't see Roxanne Perez winning it. As much as I think Mommy in the Bank would be an amazing like money-making deal for WWE, and they would make millions or billions off of that. Mommy in the Bank t-shirts, Mommy in the Bank briefcases. I don't see Ripley needing it because she had the championship for so long. Alexa could win. I would buy Alexa, but I'm telling you, I think Naomi's winning this. Naomi, I wasn't talking to you, Alexa. But I think Naomi wins this.
If a Naomi's in it, if she doesn't get taken out.
I don't think she's gonna get taken out. I think she's in it and she's gonna win it.
What?
Really, Naomi's the only one in this that screams out to me, because over the last couple of weeks, like I was like, it's anybody's game. I could see anybody winning it. And then once Naomi was the final entrance, she was kind of like okay, this is where we're going with this. Her new heel character, give it to her, have her take the belt off Tiffany, let her have the belt for a while. Because she said, remember, you even said it a few weeks ago, Dom. She made the comment that she's getting older. Her and Big Jim want to try having a baby. Yeah. She might go away for a while. Yeah. What better way than when she's in her heel run to have her win the Money in the Bank, win her first women's championship, let her carry the women's championship for a while, and then have her drop it, and then she can go off and start her family and do her thing. I just think it's Naomi.
You know what? You might be right. I'm just thinking Roxanne Perez, because I think Roxanne Perez, all the stuff that she's accomplished has been accomplished. What a way to like really tip it off to she gets the briefcase. But you know what? Come think, you're right, man. You know,
and that's the way to build that feud, because we already had
think about that.
We already had Jade versus Naomi. How many times can we do that?
Yeah.
Build that feud to make Bianca Belair and Naomi kind of start to feud with each other, and build that Bianca Belair versus Naomi match for Night of Champions, or Bianca Belair versus Naomi.
What about Evolution? Evolution's coming soon.
I forgot about Evolution. Evolution.
No.
I think Evolution is where God, Styx has got me doing it now.
Apologize.
Either Giulia or Stephanie Vaquer.
Giulia. That's where I think Giulia wins her women's United States Championship. I think we're working towards, for Evolution, we're working towards a Lyra versus Becky versus Bayley triple threat for the IC title, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Yeah. But yeah, to me, the standout on this one is Naomi.
Okay.
I think Naomi's really, other than Stephanie, but she kind of got called up to Raw last minute. Yeah. I do think that you're going to see a feud with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
But we got to get to a point where we're putting Charlotte Flair with the Wyatt Six. If she's going to be part of the Wyatt Six, how do we start that?
Well, I think
road to that.
Because that's what I think is happening. I think she's going to start going after Alexa. I think they changed the story. I think Charlotte Flair becomes part of the figure Wyatt Six, and not Alexa. Like you were saying, I think Alexa. That's the reason why I think it's going to start like the mind games, because, like I said, they could be playing mind games with each other, and I think that's what's going to happen. That's why I don't think they're winning that, because I think Charlotte gets involved in that, and that starts that feud, and Wyatt Six become involved. And but you're right, Giulia is going to win the belt in Evolution, and I'm just saying there's so much potential. These 6 women. It could be anybody's game. You're right. It could be.
I think the quickest way to get an Alexa in the Wyatt Six is through the Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yeah.
You have, something happen where, she gets beat up by Liv Morgan and Roxanne, or not Roxanne, but Raquel Rodriguez, and Nikki Cross shows up to be her tag team partner. Like, I think that's kind of building towards her being part of the Wyatt Six. But to me, like, really, I think Naomi is the clear choice to win this. But I don't know. Then again, like, do we really see two people from the same brand winning both ladder matches?
That's the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. You see, that's the thing. You need the at least the women's from SmackDown, or, where you need like 1-1. But like I said, we don't even know what's going on. If there's going to be a draft, they're talking about the draft, but at the same time, maybe they scrap it. Maybe it doesn't happen in the draft. Maybe they put the brands together again, but you have your separate things. They're still two different organizations, but the champions can come and go with on both shows.
I just don't know like when they would have time at this point to do a draft, because it feels like their scheduling is so like close together now.
I know, but I think this month.
Yeah.
I don't know, because you have Worlds Collide.
If they
Money
do
in the
anything,
Bank.
it's going to be online. If they do it, it's going to be an online thing. It's not going to
Then
be.
you have Night of Champions on the 28th. Then you have Saturday Night Main Event on July 12th. Then you have Evolution July 13th. Then you have
why
SummerSlam August 2nd. Like, it's like 2 to 3 weeks in between every single one of these PLEs. Like,
why do they have Saturday Night Main Event and then Evolution the day after?
I don't know why they're doing Evolution on a Sunday, but they're doing both of them. Well, because they're both from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're trying to push out the AEW pay-per-views.
And there's not even a draft. They've on the like PLE site of upcoming PLEs, they've taken the WWE draft completely off of it. So I don't even know if there's going to be a WWE draft.
Maybe there won't be a draft. Maybe they just leave the way it is.
They're not talking about it, so it doesn't surprise me.
Well, they mentioned it. They mentioned it like a couple of weeks ago, but about a month ago or something like that.
Once. Yeah, one off. Yeah.
All right. So you got Naomi. You got Alexa Bliss.
I'm going.
And I got Roxanne. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Matt.
Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch is going to win the title. And when Lyra is having to raise her hand, that's when Bayley's going to come back. And it's going to start a feud for the Intercontinental Championship, where it's going to be, because Lyra gets her rematch, because, we all thought it was go back to the back of the line, but now they've got these wonky rematch rules.
Again,
I think Becky wins this. Lyra's going to chase her, and it's going to lead to a 3-way for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Like Bayley will probably face her again in Saudi Arabia for it at Night of Champions. Oh, and then, or maybe, because I don't see him doing, I don't know. I don't want to see him, I should say, preface with it. I don't want to see them do Becky Lyra 4 at Night of Champions.
Yeah, I don't want to say that either.
Well, I'm counting their NXT match too. So
yeah.
I don't want him to see Becky Lyra 4 so quick. I would like to see Becky Bayley, then have maybe Lyra cost Bayley the title, and then you build that triple threat match to SummerSlam where they're all done with each other. But there's no way they're going to have it to where Becky can't challenge for the IC title as long as Lyra is champion. And the minute they threw that stipulation in there, I was like, because Becky's their moneymaker.
Yeah.
So the minute they threw that stipulation in there, I was like, Becky's winning the belt. Lyra's going to have to raise her hand, and that's when Bayley's going to come back.
100% agree. I don't think there's any more to say there. I mean, that's the whole stipulation said it for me as well. Like, well, I guess she's winning because they're not going to have her not go for the championship again. That's it. That's all I got. Becky's winning.
What say you, Dom Tober?
Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, 100% is winning it because of the last match they had that we thought that she was going to win, and Lyra took it, and it was surprising, and the back and forth stuff. Becky's winning it. You're right. Bayley's coming back, and it's going to be a Bayley versus Becky and versus Lyra, and it's going to head towards that in SummerSlam. And that's going to be the big match. So they put the belt on Becky to win. She's one of the top dogs. in the women's division, and we'll definitely get Valkyria another rematch down the road, but it's not going to be a rematch because you're going to have Becky. It's going to have Bayley in it. So Becky all the way.
Right. Kind of. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And then we'll do we'll have the points system up. Did you want to go through Worlds Collide real quick, Matt? Or
Yeah, let's do it.
all right, let me get back to the Worlds Collide stuff here.
Down for some Worlds Collide.
Hey, did you see what's his name? Might have got hurt with the Speed Championship last night. Fatsu.
Who is the Speed champion?
What's his name from Fatsu?
Is it Nathan? No, it's not Nathan Frazier.
No,
it's the other one.
The other guy. Yeah.
Fraxian.
Yeah. I think he got hurt. I think Fraxian got hurt. So that's another thing. You bring up a new tag team, and then the guy gets hurt, then the tag team's no more.
All right, there we go. All right, Worlds Collide Sunday, 3 p.m. on YouTube. So this is going to be free on YouTube, and they said it's going to be in English, and so they're going to have two streams going, one in Spanish, one in English.
It's going to be Spanglish.
Correct. Yeah, Spanish.
Huh.
Well, it's not in Pig Latin. We'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Chad Gable versus El Hijo del Vikingo.
Yeah.
I think we've already kind of gone over this one.
Vikingo's winning this. The fact that he just beat Alberto Del Rio, and WWE had no problem being like, hey, Vikingo versus Chad Gable for the AAA championship, mega championship before the match even happened. And WWE was like, yeah, we don't give a shit about this. We don't give a shit about you, Alberto Del Rio. Kick rocks.
I think that's what it boiled down to, too.
Pretty much. So, I think Vikingo is going to retain in this.
And this is where we find out that Grande Americano is a lying cheat. He's both Chad Gable and El Americano.
What if this match is the match we've been waiting for, where we've been calling the second El Grande for a while now? What if this is the match where the second El Grande comes out and El Grande tries to help Chad Gable?
Ooh. Imagine this freaking goddamn carrying cross. He comes out and helps.
If carrying cross is the other.
Yeah, is the other. He comes out.
His height is a telltale sign that he's not. But
I'm just saying, imagine that.
Have you guys seen the photo that's going around from Monday night's Triple Threat where El Grande hits a move and he's getting up and the tassels on his boot move and you see the CG on it, the Chad Gable on his boot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Someone said it. So someone said online, he goes, maybe it's Chelsea Green.
Yeah.
Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green looks that muscular? Come on.
All right. So we all have El Vikingo there.
Yeah, Vikingo for sure.
Yeah.
This is where I gotta get my boy Ethan Page, man. I need Ethan Page to win.
I want to preface this match by saying this one's going to be interesting.
To watch. He just won the freaking the North American Championship. So you're putting that on the line. You're not
losing. He's losing it.
All right, he's losing it. He's going to the main roster then.
Exactly, because he's already been. There's three big names. Well, I should say 4 big names that have been really heavily rumored as call-ups. Stephanie got called up. We haven't seen Jordan Grace yet as being called up.
Yep.
Ricky Saints, which we already saw him lose the North American title, and now Ethan Page.
Yep.
So
my boy Ethan Page is coming up. You're right.
I think they're going to put the title on Javon Evans. They're not going to put it on Rey Fenix. I think they're going to put the title on Javon Evans.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the odd man out in this match. I'm not John Evans, Ethan Page.
Yo, listen, Ethan Page. All I know is he shows up and he helps freaking Seth Rollins wins the Money in the Bank, and then my dreams come true that he's part of the faction. I don't know, man. I just like the dude, man. I just think that he was great in AEW, man. For what he did in AEW, it's like there's certain wrestlers that you want to see succeed, and I think Ethan Page,
right?
All ego. I think he's got it. But you're right. You know what? If Devon Evans does win, Ethan Page will be on Monday Night Raw the next night.
Yeah, there's no way Ethan Page wins this match, and if he does, it's going to be like by the skin of his teeth, because Rey Fenix, high flying luchador, Laredo Kid, high flying, fast paced luchador, Javon Evans, high flying, fast paced. He's not a luchador, but Ethan Page is kind of outmatched and outskilled in this.
All three of the men, yeah. You're right. You know what? I was thinking about that, and then I was saying to myself, if he does lose, that means he's on his way up to the main roster, because to make him win, and then boom, lose a week or two later. Now,
but maybe don't agree with me, because I've been absolutely terrible with calling stuff like.
Well, listen, Laredo Kid ain't gonna win, because that's part of the AAA. He's part of the AAA. He ain't gonna. You're not gonna give a North American Championship to him. Rey Fenix is in SmackDown. You're not gonna have him walk around with the North American. Well, you did have Dom walk around with it when he won the thing on NXT. You could, you could have Rey Fenix win that belt, but why? Why win that belt where there's other things you can win?
I think that shows that WWE has no faith in Rey Fenix, and that they feel like maybe he wasn't ready to come to the main roster if they're going to have him go after the NXT North American Championship. Exactly. I feel like he's just a placeholder in this because of how big he was in AAA and how he cut his teeth in AAA. Yeah. And this was the only match they could really insert him in that made sense. So I think that's the only reason he's in this. He is not in this to win this championship whatsoever. He's in this match just because of how big and massive he was in cutting his teeth in AAA.
Yeah. So you know what? Devon Evans, definitely I see him winning. As much as I want to see my boy Ethan win, but it makes a lot of sense. I take that back. Wins, because then it gives me hope for him to come to the main roster. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, Javon Evans, for all intents and purposes, is the future of NXT. And if you want to see how he's going to handle himself as a NXT champion, being the North American champion is that first step. So,
yeah. Ethan Page going to the main roster, 100% makes sense. I kind of agree about Phoenix. I think they signed him to not appease, but to kind of smooth in Penta. But I think because I had talked about it before that with them picking up AAA. I think him going into being in AAA is
what you sniffing there, Dom?
Focus. Yeah, stuff box.
You fucking weirdo. Dom just sniffing a box.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Scent it.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Pineapple Stitch. I'm trying to see if it smelled through the box.
That's how you know you're too much into Stitch. You're smelling his box. So.
Hey, it's a scented pop. What do you want?
Don't be dressing up there as Stitch near Dom. He might try to sniff you.
Yeah. And Way Seeker might mistake you for Nubs. So.
Yeah, fucking Way Seeker.
There you go. Laredo Kid took a good spill on NXT on Tuesday when he tried to go through the ropes and his foot caught the middle rope and sent him pancaking to the floor. I don't know if that caused anything for him, but I mean, it was a good drop going at that point, but I don't see him. Javon Evans, he's come so close to good matches on NXT where he hasn't won that I think this is going to be his time to finally take the W, and I think he'll hoist up that championship at the end of the match. So yeah,
I don't. The only thing I disagree with you on is your take on Phoenix, because Rey Fenix was always going to come to WWE. He was rumored to be coming to WWE before Penta, and the only reason they were supposed to debut together as the Lucha Brothers.
Yep.
And the only reason they didn't is because AEW added that injury time to Rey Fenix where they couldn't add to Penta. So I think Rey Fenix is always in the cards, but I just think Rey Fenix is just penciled in this match to be a body to put on a show for the AAA crowd because that's where he cut his teeth and where he's best known is his time in AAA.
Yeah, and he'll definitely put on a good show for everyone. So I had no problem with his abilities. So. All right, up next.
Well,
oh man,
I give
that is
Stephanie Vaquer and Laura Vice to win over this. The only thing I bought, the only thing that you know what? You could all right. So they win. They can come back and interfere in the Money in the Bank to make her lose.
Dailies and Chick,
yeah, in pay for payback, for the situation with that. That's the only thing with Stephanie Vaquer. You have a storyline. They signed. They're signed with WWE. Because they had AAA. Then that can be a feud. They can be on Monday night. You can have them on Monday night. But I see Stephanie and Lola Vice winning. That's going to be the definitely winning that match. Unless something happens and delay and Chick Comina win. But Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice are taking this.
If they do, it's going to be Lola Vice that eats the pin. It's not going to be Stephanie.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to try, because Stephanie's pulling double duty, they're going to really try to protect Stephanie in this match.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I bet you she gets in there and does the devil's kiss and, hits the highlights. And then there's Lola Vice probably picks up the win for him. Yep. Because I think they're going to really try to limit Stephanie's involvement in this match. And they're not.
Lola Vice is also rumored to come up to the main roster.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't see these two getting involved beyond this because they're making such a big deal about Worlds Collide and this pay-per-view of WWE versus AAA. So I don't really think they're going to be mixing WWE with AAA too much.
So this chick right here, Chick Tormenta, she looks like she's going to be the new friggin' Ace of Spade, friggin' Baszler. She looks like a Baszler. Friggin'
she looks like Timu China.
Yeah. She looks like a friggin' half dude, half woman. I don't know. I don't know. She looks bad. I'm sorry.
She looks like she's the eight and a half wonder of the world, not quite the ninth wonder of the world.
Yeah, she's the Timu China. And she's old too. She looks like she's aged a lot. Time hasn't been kind to her.
She's gonna find you and put you in a headlock, Dom.
Oh, she beat the shit out of that.
Dom's all right with it.
She's gonna be like, watch me drop my nuts on your forehead, Dom.
You know what? She's probably the nicest person in the world. You know what? Don't kill yourself, man. Probably the nicest person.
Oh, probably is. No doubt. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know much about the AAA wrestlers. I haven't watched it before.
Oh, dude, AAA, some of the old school AAA manias are amazing. Like, I'm worried that they're gonna get dumbed down and watered down now that WWE has them. But
corporations,
you gotta go back and try and find some of the old AAA manias, like Psycho Clown. Oh, dude.
Yeah. I definitely want to get back. I'm hoping they'll put some of the older stuff on the Peacock at some point, so I can go back and watch it. I'll have to figure out where to watch it now.
Well, it's like the Lucha Underground, man. The Lucha Underground was crazy.
AAA Mania makes Lucha Underground look like child's play, man. I bet you can find some old AAA Manias on YouTube.
Definitely. Is it on El Rey? Is it on the El Rey network? Is that where they play it?
Maybe.
Yeah, El Rey. Yeah. I think it's
I want to say Lucha Underground was on. It was on Netflix for a while.
It was on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look. Because she's taking double duty, I don't think I think Stephanie's going to have to win one and lose the other. And since I already think she's losing Money in the Bank, I think her team is going to take this match.
Yep.
So, and again, nothing against dailies or Chick, but you're gonna have to split her session 1 for 1. So win here, loses Money in the Bank.
Well, you know what? You know what could be a possibility too, if you really think about it. They lose, right? Friggin' Lola Vice gets pissed at Stephanie because they lose. Lola Vice comes into the main roster. There's your feud with Stephanie Vaquer. You know what I'm saying? So that could be that possibility, but I don't see that happening. I see them winning. They have to win. You're right. They have to. Stephanie has to win one because she's not winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I think she'll split her matches one for one.
Yeah, right.
Matt, did you already call this one? I can't.
Yep.
Did you already say who you want ahead of here?
Yeah, I think.
What happened?
What did you say there?
I
You
said
cut out.
Stephanie and Lola Vice are going to win.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. We'll go on to the next one.
All right. I think Pagano and Psycho Clown. And Dr. I think they win.
Yeah, Dr. Waker.
Over Legado Fantasma. I think they win. I think this is where you see the breakup.
You gotta. That's a AAA Mania match. You gotta look up is Psycho Clown versus Pagano from like 4 years ago. AAA Mania, man, insane match. Psycho Clown is absolutely insane. I actually am going to give the win here to Psycho Clown, Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's who I'm going with here.
Okay. I really don't know who to pick. I know more of Del Fantasma from previous stints in WWE, and
They're still in WWE.
but I'm interested to see how this match goes because
dude, Sticks, where are you?
I'm interested to see Wagner, Pagano, and Psycho Clown work.
Oh my god!
I'll agree that they're going to win.
If you've been replaced and you're not the real Sticks, blink twice.
Yeah.
Because good night. If you've been body snatched,
I'm all over.
Please.
I know I'm all over the place.
Yo, please, Sticks. Please. Know your wrestling, please.
I know Legado del Fantasma from some stuff they've done in WWE. Dude, they're still in WWE.
He's still there, man.
Well, I think are they going to be part of AAA now?
Not necessarily, at least not
No.
yet.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. Whatever. I thought they were. But I haven't seen them in a while. At least I don't think I have. I feel like I haven't seen them in a while.
I remember them from yesteryear when they were on the other circuit, the
Damn,
WWE circuit.
Damn, Sticks.
Well, when was the last time they had a match? When was the last time they had a match? It's been a while, hasn't it?
They've been fighting. They were fighting Motor City Machine Guns, freaking guys.
Yeah, they were. I was gonna say they wrestled on SmackDown a few weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah, that's probably why. Because I don't really watch SmackDown. I only watch the highlights because I don't get USA, so I watch the highlights. All right, I'm still taking Pagano, Psycho, and Wagner.
Doctor.
I'll take them.
Here.
Wagner, Wagner Jr. Wagner Jr.
Poor Sticks, man.
I know.
You might want to go get checked for a stroke after this.
Yeah, son.
All right, and then again, point totals will be added up at the Money in the Bank Thursday.
Where's Pete and Double O at? Are they too good for us? They're scared. They're running scared now.
Yeah, right. Not even to say, guys, I can't make it tonight. This and that.
I cut a promo on Pete. I beat him for the title, and now he's running scared.
Jeez.
And I could still say that because I'm technically co-champion with Dom. And it's when this is when I become undisputed champion.
Yeah.
Gonna unify the titles tonight.
You got the Dom Total Championship.
Gonna unify the titles Saturday.
Dom Total Championship. But you know what? As much as the wrestling, there's a lot of negative things going on right now with wrestling because of the releases and stuff like that. There's still a lot to look forward to. You got a lot of excitement. You got things going on. And like I said, every generation we go through things. Like with the Attitude Era, Stone Cold, The Rocks, and then when they left, it took a while for us to get used to all the stuff. The same thing with these guys, like Roman Reigns not being here often, and CM Punk only fighting a little bit because you get older. Look, everybody's turning 50 eventually. You got fucking AJ Styles going to be 50 soon. You got freaking Seth Rollins in his late 40s. So you got to give or take. And I understand new talent's got to come up. You got to wait. It's sad that they have to release these guys. I'm pissed off, but corporations have all this freaking money. But I understand you have to make room for rosters. And if you keep these guys on, it takes away from the time that other people are going to spend on TV. That's why it brings me to the thing. They were talking about maybe making a third friggin' main roster show for other people that you can't fit them on the two shows. And I don't think that's a good idea because I think when you do too many, it takes away the magic of the product. I think leave it the way it is.
Yeah.
If you find time, look, let me tell you something. What happened? They stopped making the factions, and they still have factions, but they were doing a lot more factions a couple of years ago. They started to fade away from that. With the Bloodline, you had the other faction, Judgment Day, and you had a whole bunch of stuff going on. But yeah. But I'm still excited. I'm still looking forward. The women's division just got better. It got hotter. I will be wearing sweatpants every time I watch the women's division. So
Vince McMahon must be hurting for money to pay his legal team because he apparently just sold a bunch of TKO stock for the total sum of like $250 million of TKO stock.
Well, look at Tony Khan. Tony Khan too. Friggin' he's selling a lot of his stock too. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm telling you. You know what sucks? To look forward to, since it's a corporation, they push out big time people. You might get some big time people getting pushed out, like creative behind the scenes. That might be next, and that might be the next biggest and the last move that they do. I don't know how much longer Triple H's job is secure. But we'll see.
You think that they're gonna get rid of Triple H?
I've been watching a lot of podcasts of wrestling and stuff like that, and a lot of the decisions that he's making don't make sense. A lot of the stuff that he's doing. Yeah, and the one thing I do applaud him for, give him time off, like the 4th of July weekend. He's let everybody have time with their family, so there could be tape shows. So you have that out there, more opportunities. When Vince was here, Vince never let that happen. But I think storyline bookings, look, Netflix got Raw because they wanted all the main roster guys, big guy. Roman Reigns is never there.
Nope.
You wanted the Bloodline. They broke the Bloodline up to go on Netflix. The Bloodline should have still been together, still been a team. But I don't know. I don't know with Triple H. I know what's going on in the mind. I think the real feud of Rock and Triple H and TKO, I think that was real. The Rock kind of messed up things, with the storylines and stuff like that. John Cena, was put in a bad situation, turning heel, and the storyline just blew. It sucked. But you know what? Like I said, we'll see.
What'd you guys think of the debut of Mariah May on NXT?
I love her accent, man.
She's clearly getting a name change because they don't say her name.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Definitely, she came out.
Oh my God, Graves, she's here.
I know. I just
they don't say who.
Yeah, she's here. Who's here?
What is it?
That girl right there, the woman. She was from AEW. Oh, you can't say AEW on this line. I'm sorry, I just promoted them back. Yeah, you know what? NXT is going to get a major NXT is going to get a major facelift. You're going to see a lot of people, new people. All the main girls are coming up. So just about, it also gives my girl Jada Parker, a chance of doing a little bit more down there before she does come up in the main roster eventually.
Mm-hmm.
That was a highlight. Yeah.
It's interesting that they've already got her like in the title picture coming in right away.
You see, that's the thing. This is how they tempt you. Oh, you're gonna come in, you be in the title picture already, boom, that's it. Like there's no build up. Like you know what's funny? You notice they don't have. Remember, they used to build up. But a guy used to come in and used to fight like no name dudes before he started fighting
jobbers.
People.
Yeah,
jobbers, and all of a sudden, now
Iron Mike Sharp, best jobber.
Yeah, now they're putting people in the main the main storylines off the bat. Oh my God, so so's here. He's in the main storyline. Like take Ricky Starks and Ethan Page. If they do come to the main,
dropping them right into the main,
right into the main storyline. Pop.
Well, like they had those two big, I can't remember their names right now. The two big dudes from India come in and they were just fighting jobbers and then they disappeared.
Yep, the guys were freaking. When they came in, they got rid of them. Fucking Author the Pain was fighting jobbers.
Yeah, they got String Bean from Parts Unknown or Mike. Jobber.
Mike Beckleone from Bayonne, New Jersey. His first match, he gets fucking jobbed. But you're right. Like I said, it's great to be a wrestling fan. A lot of decisions may not like some of the stuff that they do, may not like, but overall, it's pretty entertaining. I don't believe you, Matt, when you say wrestling's boring. I don't think it is boring. I just think,
dude, come on.
I just think, me personally, I just think that there's no mystery towards things that are happening. You look at certain things. All right, we didn't see Bronson Reed coming back to help in Saturday Night Main Event. That was a shock.
I'm not really a Bronson Reed fan. Like, he's good as the big man. He's good for that spot, but that's pretty much where you see him. He's never done anything that stands out. So yeah, it's shocking that Bronson Reed came back.
He broke his ankles.
Okay, yeah, and broke his ankles.
Yeah,
I know. 350 some pounds. Like, what can he really do? Look, I know. The wrestling is good. The stories have been boring.
Yeah.
The third hour of SmackDown is an absolute snore fest. Raw feels good because it feels like they found this flow. So Raw feels like, it's over. And I'm like, oh man, it's already been 2.5 hours. Shit. I can't believe it's over. Yeah. SmackDown, I can't get past hour 2 of SmackDown.
But you know what's funny? You say that, but USA is very happy with the.
I know, and it's shocking. It's shocking. And I think it's because they don't want to pay to put anything else on there. They don't want to pay money to get syndication rights for anything else. And they don't want to create a new show for anything else until after sweeps. And then they're going to go from there.
Like tomorrow night's show is going to be good. You know why tomorrow night's show is going to be good? Because you have all the candidates that are going to be running the bank.
But it's a go-home show for the PLE, so nothing's going to happen.
I know, but it still brings in a lot of attention because you have a lot of people there. Even if they have backstage segments or they got something, it's a big show because you have all the candidates in it. That's what they need to friggin' do. Have crossovers back and forth. The fucking draft gets boring. Have that. You have better chances to get a better viewership when you have people showing up. Why is Jay Cargill on Raw? She's on Raw because she wants to talk to Michael Pierce, or she wants to talk to one of the persons that they didn't like the way she was like looked at when she walked down the thing on one of the pay-per-views. I want to see more of that. I want to see the crossovers. Not necessarily they have to fight every friggin' thing. You could have a great in-ring friggin' promo, and then the next night in the other wrestling event you fight. So you can have that. I think that the draft is stupid. And it still doesn't make sense with the draft because it gets boring with the draft. So if you have an open where people can come and go, I'd rather see that.
So apparently the current betting odds, and I don't know why there's betting odds for a premeditated match in professional wrestling, but current betting odds have Rhea Ripley and Naomi coming out as potential winners of the women's Money in the Bank match, with Seth Rollins or Solo Sikoa as the favorites to win the men's Money in the Bank.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Whoever bet that.
But we said Seth was the.
Well, Seth is the obvious choice. We said that.
Choice.
But
yeah,
the money card has to go with LA Knight. LA Knight's been getting screwed. He was popular. They had him up there going into the championship match. After he got screwed by freaking goddamn Roman Reigns, his popularity kind of went down. And really,
what's the line? What's the line for the bet? Like, if you bet Seth, what's the line? Like, is he like?
It's not
4-1. Did they don't give you a line or like a?
No. WrestleVotes says that they have spoken with someone close to WWE talent, and when you hear about potential winners, take it with a grain of salt. But this source is saying that there's potentially big news or big names standing out and emerging from both the men's and women's ladder matches. They report that keep an eye on Rhea Ripley and Naomi, and also heavy leaning towards Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa. So that's two outlets, the betting sites and WrestleVotes, saying
no, because Jacob Fatu's got to get involved. It's gonna be so. It's got to build up for Solo. And Solo, it's obvious Solo is not winning. That's just a curve they're throwing in there. LA Knight's gonna win. No. LA Knight is names on your mentions, which is good.
Seth Rollins is coming in at minus 400. El Grande Americano at plus 300. LA Knight at plus 200. Solo Sikoa at plus 1,000. Penta at plus 600. Andrade at plus 2,000.
So Solo is the long shot.
Solo is the long shot, and Seth Rollins is the favorite to win. Well, actually, I would say Andrade is the long shot.
I would think so as well.
But LA Knight is a favorite too.
LA Knight is at plus 200.
So he's
Seth Rollins, according to Bet US,
who bets on freaking wrestling? Wrestling is fake.
I don't know. Worlds Collide, North American Championship Fatal 4-Way. Ethan Page is the favorite at minus 600. Ray Phoenix is plus 300. Javon Evans is plus 250. And Laredo Kid is plus 400. So Laredo Kid's kind of the long shot there. Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice are minus 1,600 to win that match. And the other ones are plus 600. Then Money in the Bank tag team match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are at negative 130. And John Cena and Logan Paul are negative 110. So they're kind of like even. The Women in the Bank ladder match, Naomi coming off at minus 300. Roxanne Perez at 600 plus 600. Alexa Bliss at plus 800. Rhea Ripley at plus 300. Stephanie Vaquer at plus 600. Giulia at plus 800. The Women's Intercontinental Championship, Becky Lynch coming in at minus 800 with Lyra Valkyria at plus 425.
Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Dude, you can even take bets. There are bets on this site on who will induct John Cena into the Hall of Fame.
Our truth.
Right now, The Rock is the favorite at minus 125.
That's great.
AJ Styles is plus 300. AJ Styles is the long shot.
Friggin' jabroni.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
Yep.
That's insanity that you can take bets on who's gonna
for an induction.
Vegas has bets on everything, man. You know, Vegas has a list of all the actors and actresses who's gonna die first.
Yeah, the Deadpool.
Yeah, they got the Deadpool.
They have Vikingo at negative 1,000, minus 1,000, and then Chad Gable at plus 500. They're saying Vikingo is gonna win over Chad Gable, and then Dr. Wagner Jr., Psycho Clown, and Pagano are at minus 300 to Legado El Fantasmas. Oh my God, plus 200. And they have Sami Zayn at plus 150 to win next year's Royal Rumble.
Huh.
Pat McAfee is at plus 8,000.
Huh.
Hey, what's up, Terry?
Plus 8,000 for what?
To win next year's Royal Rumble.
Pat McAfee.
Lyra Valkyria is plus
Imagine.
250. Roxanne Perez is at plus 250 to win next year's female Royal Rumble. With Zarya at plus 6,000. Insanity. And dude, you can even bet on John Cena's opponent at Crown Jewel. John Cena's opponent, Sami Zayn, is at plus 2,000. Let's see, who's the favorite? Seth Rollins right now is the favorite to face John Cena at Crown Jewel.
It says Rollins. Why Seth Rollins, man? You see? I love heel versus heel. Let's do it.
Sunday, dude, they've already... So, listen to this. This could be a potential spoiler. They have it listed as a pay-per-view on November 30th. John Cena's The Last Time Is Now pay-per-view. That has nothing even been talked about yet.
Nope.
Other than through speculation.
Right.
Who will John Cena face in his last match at The Last Time Is Now, Sunday, November 30th? Cody Rhodes is the favorite at minus 200. Bill Goldberg sitting there at plus 5,000.
Shit, might as well bring back the Undertaker and The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
That's interesting. Is that what they're calling the Survivor Series? My Last Time Is Now, pay-per-view?
No, they're still having Survivor Series, but
Okay.
Last Time Is Now is going to be November 30th, the last day of November.
Well, Survivor Series a week before that. Like the 20th, was it 24th? Isn't Survivor Series like the 24th?
20.
It's before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd.
But they're freaking close. Gonna have another pay.
Yeah, I'm busy November 23rd.
Are you? What are you
that's
busy doing November 23rd?
Dr. Who's birthday.
What are you gonna celebrate?
You're gonna celebrate the new doctor.
Yeah.
If we get a new doctor by then, yes, I will.
Listen, if we can see,
I don't think we're gonna get another
birthday hats going. Woo! Happy birthday, doctor! Woo! Woo-hoo!
Oh no, Survivor Series is Survivor Series is November 29th.
So
it was a 2-night. Right after. It was a 2-night. So they're saying Survivor Series.
No,
I wonder if maybe that's not right information that betting site has, because like I said, nothing's been announced for My Time Is Now or Last Time Is Now thing. But I mean, there's been rumors about that they're gonna do a pay-per-view in late November, early December, called Last Time Is Now. But yeah, Survivor Series is November 29th.
Yeah, it'll be the Saturday. Yeah.
Wow.
After Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's usually that Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be early.
Would they do a 2-night Survivor Series?
Not yet, I don't think.
I remember 26 years ago.
I don't think so either.
26 years
Since
ago.
they already announced Survivor Series is going to be at Petco Park in San Diego, I think you would have already known if it was going to be 2 nights.
Yeah.
They would have already started selling tickets if it was 2 nights.
I remember 26 years ago, Survivor Series. My sister gave birth to my niece in November, and we were talking. Stone Cold was fighting the Undertaker and stuff like that. My sister was in the hospital. She gave birth, which was my niece Alexis, who actually has a baby now, which just had a baptism on Sunday. So time flies.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
All right, man. Hey, listen. Pretty quick show tonight, which is good.
Yeah, man. Do you guys have anything else wrestling related you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think we talked about we can, leases and stuff like that. Really nothing. I look forward to the call ups that are going to happen, soon, and hopefully they don't lay off. They don't let anybody else go. But they're aiming towards it. Right. So we'll see.
Yeah, Petco Park only has
the baby come out the right way or give you a tombstone pile driver.
Yeah. I think she gave birth before the show came on. And she was in the hospital or she was still in labor, I think. But yeah, it was kind of crazy because I remember that like it was yesterday, man. 26 years ago.
All right. Well, I think that's where we'll end our show tonight. I hope you guys had a great time. If you enjoyed the show tonight, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you know whenever we go live with brand new episodes of Off the Mat. Unfortunately, we are going to miss live streaming or watch along of Money in the Bank. We're not going to be doing it this time because Styx is busy. I've got a convention, so we won't be doing that. But you can find Styx and Dom tomorrow night over on Renovision. You can find that link to that channel down below. For the Qualified, you can find not Styx. You can find me, usually Styx, and the crew on Saturday Night Special on Renovision and right here every Saturday night. You can catch Dom on Sundays on the Star Wars show. You can catch Styx on Tuesdays over on his channel for his Doctor Who Rewind. And then we'll be back here next Thursday to do it all over again and talk about all the fallout from
see who becomes a champ.
Yes. Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. So make sure you come back. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Come back next Thursday so you see who's going to lift the Off the Mat Internet Championship for this week. But on that note, if you want more pro wrestling content, you can stick right here and find more right here on any of the videos that are going to appear after we're done. And with that, Dom, take us out with a word of wisdom.
Yeah, R-Truth, man. I'm going to miss you. Hopefully they find a way to bring him back. But like I said, corporations where they work. But don't be worried. We got a bunch of call-ups coming up, and wrestling is definitely going to excel in the future with all the good talent that's coming up. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned with the see what happens, and come back to this channel where we give you all the news, speculations, dirt sheets, and all the latest on everything pro wrestling.
Absolutely couldn't have said it better myself. Hashtag bring back R-Truth. Enjoy Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide, everybody. We'll see you next week.
In the ring, the lights go down. Roaring crowd, they scream and shout. Chants echo, shaking the ground. Warriors clash, the game is found.